first question for you, Lynn, is can you take me back to the moment when you realize something needs to change or I can't keep doing life this way?
Sure. So my pivotal moment was in 2024. My life was rocked. It literally was rocked in February of 2024. And I found myself in September. I was just standing there going, well, is this going to be plan B? Because I went through a divorce after 33 years of marriage. I had businesses for 20 years, and all of a sudden, I had nothing and I had a clean slate. And that was just like the fear, that just attacked. Um, and so I just said, you know what? I just had to pull myself up and I had to find some way to make income because I'm at that in between stage where I'm not drawing Social Security. I can't get Medicare. And so it's like, okay, I lost my health insurance with the divorce. And it's like, I don't have my business anymore. And it's like, how am I going to? I do have a house, which is a blessing in itself, but the upkeep of a house, I mean, and then my daughter, I have a 27-year-old daughter who we adopted 27 years ago. And she decided it's time for her to spread her wings. So I literally was alone, left alone. But I knew that I could do a business, but I just didn't know what I wanted to do. My heart is in independent retailing, but I didn't have the funds now to open up a store because that's something my husband and I did together. And so I didn't have the money, and I'm like, what am I going to do? I was like, do I be a consultant? And so I think you've probably heard this story over and over and over. I tried 3 different online
Mhm.
programs and I was, trying to keep them towards retail, that type of thing. So I learned about the manufacturing side of it. And do I want to manufacture a product? And then I went to eBay and I went to Poshmark and I was like, well, I have that background. I can do this. And nothing worked. It just didn't click. And so then I said, I'm done. I'm going to work for $15 an hour. I couldn't even get a job at Target.
Wow.
I was overqualified.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so then um, I went to this local gift shop and I said, I'm just going to put in my application. I'm going to tell them, I have this much experience stuff, but it's okay. I just want a job, a job, and no callbacks. And I'm like, what am I going to do just for income? And so that's when a friend of mine, I found it on Facebook. I think everybody has found it on Facebook. And she was just posting, but I was leery because she was an MLM type person.
Mhm.
And that's not me. I've tried it one time in my life. And but anyway, long story short, I took the leap and it has been phenomenal ever since.
No, that's great. That's great. I love
Yeah.
that answer. Yeah, no, I can relate definitely as far as, the divorce side of things, right? Because, obviously I am divorced myself as well. And I have, these 2 children that I am responsible for solely as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so, and especially when if you're first starting out and it's scary because you don't know, right? Well, number one, you're already responsible for yourself, but now you also have the responsibilities of these 2 tiny human beings.
Yes.
And if you're a brand new parent, you're just like, well, what the heck am I going to do? Like, how am I going to provide? It's like, because children aren't cheap, and you know that, right?
Oh my God.
It's ridiculous how much it takes just to provide
I
some
know.
type of life for them, right? Or some
That,
good life. But yeah, it's crazy. So I completely understand where you're coming from. So what was it, do you think that you were really craving at that point or that breaking point? Was it, like freedom or impact or, stability, purpose?
I think for me, mine was when you go through, your world is rocked like that and your life has to go to plan B. I just needed something to occupy my head because all I was thinking was negative. It was that type of thing. And I was like, Lynn, you've been an entrepreneur your whole life. And it's like that's where you thrive. And so I needed the purpose. I needed to pull myself out and would give me purpose. And then once I realized that, getting a job was not going to give me the freedom. And I'm like, I'm so close to retirement. I'm so close. So I want that freedom.
Mhm.
So I think for me, it was purpose and freedom.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
So was your daughter affected as well, how things were going?
Oh, yeah. But she honestly, I mean, it was really negative situation and stuff,
Mhm.
but and she also was going through a tough time, which we all have seasons. We all have the seasons. So she was going through something and I was trying to help her. So we were living together at that time. We both jumped into a rental, and we're living together, but she honestly has been my biggest supporter. And honestly, I think that I'm going to see her doing this eventually.
No, that's great. I hope so. I
Really,
hope
I
so.
really do. I mean, I'm fascinated by like the mother-daughter groups and the mother-son that are doing it. And the couples. I just think it's so cool.
Yeah,
And
it's amazing. Yeah, because yeah, because there's tons of those types of groups, within this community and people. And so it's
yeah,
amazing just to see them build it together, be successful
right.
together. And it also just helps them build a stronger relationship themselves together. So
Yeah,
I love that aspect as well.
me
That
too.
just, yeah, it's just just makes your heart happy just to see
It
things like that.
does.
So I
Yeah,
absolutely love
she
it.
totally supports me in all of it. I mean, she has throughout the entire process. And she has always looked up to me because literally her 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 playroom at one time was a dressing room in one of my stores. So she has always seen her mom own a business. And so I think it's nice for her to see that mom did hit rock bottom, but she pulled herself out,
Mhm.
and I'm going to leave a legacy for her. So I think that's
Absolutely.
such a good thing, especially, with two kids.
Yes, absolutely, definitely. So who are you building this for? Like really? Like is it yourself, your family?
Honestly, I am building the obvious reason is income. I am building it for myself. um, for that aspect. But I truly have always had a heart for helping people, especially because I can remember back in my 20s, I dreamed of having a store. I dreamed of it. And it was like the finances. And I see so many young people that are just dreaming of their own business. And I truly want to show them that there is another path. It may be the road less traveled, but you know what?
Mhm.
There is another path that's not going to cost them what opening a brick and mortar, plus brick and mortars are suffering. So it's a combination of me. It really is a combination. Me, my daughter for her legacy, and then the people that I really, really, really want to help.
Right, absolutely. And
Yeah.
so to you, why do you think it's so important helping that type of people that you just described?
Because when you're that young and you want something so bad, there's so many naysayers and there's so many people just saying, go get the traditional job, go do that. And you don't have to. There's so much more freedom, there's more income potential. And I just see people struggling. I see people that are trying to be, a single mom, a single dad, and trying to support. And there's other ways. And they can have that time with their kids. So I don't know. I've always had a heart for helping people like that.
No, that's
Like I
great.
always want, like, even the people that bought my stores, like I would get them up to going and profitable, and then they would buy them. And even them, they were in their young 20s, but I had mentored them the whole way through, and then they get their own store. So, I mean, that just is, I love it.
Yeah,
It's something I love to do. So that's what I want to do with this.
great. No, I love that answer. So what do you think is different about you now compared to before when you first joined this community?
Oh gosh. I have had the most remarkable transformation, and it's not where I expected. I expected, go and open a business again, that, have the income, blah, blah. And I have grown so much. I mean, spiritually, emotionally. And I never expected this when I joined, that this would give me that too. And it gave me that aspect of it too. I mean, I was shocked, when I first got into it and they were having the Zoom calls with the mindset and all that kind of stuff. And it made me realize that I was in my head and that I had to let go because I joined in 2024, the end of 2024 during that hard year. And so 2025, I just said, get rid of all that negative. 2024 is behind you. You got to have this going forward. So for me, the biggest change in me is is now, I mean, I was that one that just forget it. I will not go live, not go live. I
Mhm.
mean, at all. And it did take me 6 months, but I did it. And it's like, now it's like, why were you so worried? That type of thing. So I've just grown so much. And I know that the everything else is going to come. It's like I know this path, I feel aligned with this path just because I have gotten my head right. And so that's my biggest transformation.
Absolutely. No, that's great. It's definitely, for you, it definitely sounded like, you put that fear aside of doing something that you absolutely didn't want to do, right? Which me personally too, I hate going live, live
It's
events, things
awful.
like that. For the longest time when I first got started, I absolutely like I would get shaky, nervous, like sweaty. I mean, I just thought the absolute worst things that could happen. But yeah, but it's like you said, once you take those little baby steps, right, those compound into these big
Yeah,
ripple waves that just kind of affect everything else. And I think that's just what it takes, right? It's just dipping your toe little by little till you finally jump all the way in. And then that's when you start to see results, even if it's, for some, it may be quicker than others, but at least you're
exactly.
doing the work to get there. And that's what really matters.
Right.
So,
Right.
what would you say you're most proud of accomplishing so far?
Honestly, I think that, again, going back to this is getting out of my head. I mean, I was in it deep and it was bad. It was totally blocking me
Mhm.
from everything. And I think that just overcoming that, I mean, even if nothing else ever happened, that to me was huge.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, I love that. And so, we talk a lot about mindset, and obviously it's been huge for you. And it's super important whether, in business and your personal life, right? Just to have that positive mindset. What mindset shift do you think made the biggest difference for you?
Probably letting go of what people thought. It's like I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going on TikTok, and that is what my 27-year-old daughter goes on. I was like, oh my gosh, her friends are gonna see me, and it's like, what are they gonna think, and all that kind of stuff. And then it was like, you know what? They're not even gonna see you. It's like you're not even. That's not who you're trying to attract. So I think getting rid of that fear of judgment was huge for me, and just saying,
Absolutely.
I mean, it's honest, that Mel Robbins thing. It's just let them talk about me.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's like they're going to do it anyway. So why not just do it? Just do it.
Yes, absolutely. No, I love that example. And I love Mel Robbins, yeah, is one of my favorites. And that Let Them is great. I think I recommend everyone, reading that
Absolutely.
because it would help them so much. Yeah. Because it's so simple, right? It's just, two
It
little words, but it means so much.
is.
So yeah, super impactful. So now say everything goes right for you, right? You've hit it, you've done it, right? You're making the money, you're helping the people. What does your dream life look like 12 months from now?
My dream life would be just being comfortable, not having to look at my bank account to go to the grocery store and decide, do I buy the generic brand or do I buy the brand name? Just totally comfortable. It's like if my daughter says, Mom, can you come? She's in Chicago now. It's like, can you come visit me? Sure, no problem. But right now, I can't. It's like, I have to really budget for that. So my dream life is that. And one of my biggest dreams is to be Santa Claus. I literally want to go into stores and walk up to the counter and say, everything's paid for. It's been my dream. And I don't know why, because I think it's my dad was like that. He did the
Mhm.
same thing, and he literally had the white beard and all that. But anyway, so that is my dream life, is to just go up and show kindness to people, generosity, more generosity, because that creates this flow for them. they see that, everybody thinks the world is so bad. It's not. So my dream life is just to be totally comfortable, not look at my bank account, leave a legacy, have retirement. So if I get sick for some reason, Erica, my daughter, can totally take care of me comfortably, not just stick me somewhere. She says that I'm immortal, so she said I'm not going to die. But so that's my dream life. It's not anything like, oh, I'm going to go out and buy this $1 million house. I would like a condo oceanfront.
Right, right. That would
I
be
would.
great.
I'm in Florida, but I would love to be oceanfront. So that's it. I mean, it's not that big, you know.
No, that's
And
great. I
that-
love it. I love that answer. So, what's it going to mean to you when you actually pull it off?
I think I'm going to finally be able to say I did it. It's like to have to go to a plan B in your 60s. It wasn't it wasn't in my plan, but my plan, I need to rely on God's plan, not my plan. But being at that rock bottom and knowing that I did it. I created this life and this legacy for my daughter. I did it. I think that's going to be for me.
That's great. No, I love it. I love it. So now, just a couple more questions and then I'll wrap up with you. If
Okay.
you could sit down with someone who was where you were 6 months ago, what advice would you give them?
Oh, wow. I first would say it's going to be okay. And then I would say, um, just hold my hand and we're going to walk through this and tell them that they need to believe in themselves, that what they've been told in the past is not reality, and that they can do anything that they put their mind to, even their own business. They don't have to rely on a $10, $15 hour job, that they can create the wealth that they want and they can take care of their kids, that it's all going to be okay.
No, beautiful answer. Beautiful answer. And since joining and being a part of this community, what do you now know is possible?
Oh gosh, the sky's the limit. I mean, once you get over, I was one of those, and I think it was just the background again, the season that I went through. But I was skeptical, because I'd already done 3 other programs and stuff. And so I think that overcoming that I'm not skeptical anymore and knowing that these people are real and that you can do anything. I mean, the sky is the limit with this business. But it's like you can't get like I even got to the point where I was going on information overload. I was reading every book that I could. I mean, I'd be walking, with the Audible book, and it's like I would take so many walks just to get through the books, but I was like, this is just too much information. So it's like, just become a beginner again and allow yourself to do that and just give yourself grace, just to get through this, that you can do it.
No, absolutely. I think you summed it up perfectly for everybody. But that was the last question I had for you,
Okay.
Lynn. I want to thank you so much for sharing your
Yeah,
story, taking the time to hop
sure.
on with me. I really do appreciate it. So thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. We didn't get a doorknob.
Yeah, yeah. Thankfully, we did
Anybody knock
it.
on the door for you.
We did it. All right, Lynn. Well, thank you so much. I
All right.
appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Alex, very much.